Hi, Scorpio. This is Kelly from Moon Pie Tarot. Happy New Year to everyone. My apologies for the delay. The festivities of the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, have really kept me busy, but I've tried to keep these videos, uploading them. For those of you who have requested personal readings, they are on the way. So I just wanted to say that really quick. For those of you who are listening to the reading, some of you, the reading may not resonate for you. And if that's the case, you can always check your moon or your Venus or your rising sign to get a little more clarity on your situation. If you are still unable to get clarity, you can always request a personal reading from me. Just email me at moonpietarot@gmail.com. And I will schedule you in for a reading. Okay, so let's get started with your reading. So at the bottom of the deck, the card that came up is the Eight of Pentacles. So, okay, this really, for me, is going two ways. There's a couple of messages with this throughout the month. Okay, in regard to your love life or your dating life in general, I feel like some of you maybe you're trying to figure something out, or you're trying to figure out how to maneuver or make something work in your life for this month, dating or in a relationship. You could be kind of like checking to see if the work that was done or the energy that was put into it is going to provide you with an end result that you are looking for. But I really feel like these two people in this card are both your energy, right? So I'm trying to get this so you can see it. I feel like there you are doing all this work. And there you are navigating yourself doing all this work. So it's like a checks and balances. You're either looking at a relationship or an involvement or your dating life or whatever, and just making sure that things are going well, things are staying at an even balance, and that the energy being put in, perhaps so far, is giving you something that you are looking for in return. I'm kind of like checking your investments. I know it sounds very financial, but hey, relationships can go that way. You wouldn't invest yourself or your time into something if you weren't going to. I know it sounds kind of transactional, and I don't want to put it that way, but I just feel like you're really taking a look at your love life or your relationships with people and trying to figure out maybe, is this working for you? Is it not working for you? What it is that you want to do? How much more effort do you need to put in? Should you not put in so much effort? Is it going in the direction that you are hoping it's going? Okay, so that's kind of the full energy for the month. Now, in the recent past, you've got the Devil card. So some of you are coming from a situation maybe, or a relationship, or a situation where there's a very strong bond, or you or another person or two people feel a very strong, maybe a very strong sexual attraction to each other, that maybe there's a bond in that way. Because the Devil card is about obsession, and it's about sexual lust. Sometimes it can be about attachment to another person, and I don't want to say not all the time is attachment to someone else or a relationship necessarily bad. It's just that if you are attached to something, or someone's attached to you, the question is really how it affects you in your life. Does it keep you from doing things? Does it keep you from staying, I guess like almost like an addiction, you could be, I guess, like you could be addicted to exercise, right? Now, exercise is good for you, but obviously too much exercise, everything in balance, really. And I feel like you are coming from this energy from the past where there was a very strong attachment or bond to another person. Okay. Either someone was that way with you or you were that way with someone. This is more just an energy. This is also Capricorn card. So some of you may have been dealing with a Capricorn in the past, could still presently be dealing with them coming into the present. Or if not a Capricorn, just a particular person that you're coming into, that you're still dealing with in the month of January. Now, you've got the Page of Swords. Okay. This is like kind of like the beginning of the month, I guess, where there is some conflict in communication. Okay, there could be some arguing. Give me a second, I'm just thinking. Yeah, there could be some, could be like someone could be arguing with you or you're arguing with them. Page of Swords to me is always about communication. So maybe there's vocal communication or text messages or emails or any way that you could be communicating with someone. But the Page of Swords sometimes can have like this very, I don't want to say forceful, but it's a page. So the energy is kind of like, it's a youthful, right? So you could be dealing with someone who's younger. That's an air sign. There could be messages going back and forth with someone that's an air sign, or it's just a particular person where there's some kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like it's just some conflict. I don't feel like it's major. Someone could be very immature, or the conversation or the conflict energy could be very immature, right? Where it's like someone just mouthing off, like if you say you take a young person and then they just mouth off. They don't have the wisdom to be thoughtful about things that they say. This could be you doing this with another person. Maybe you say something that's just not very thoughtful, or communicate something to another person, or they to you that's kind of like offensive in a way. So there's some of that energy. And then crossing that, you have the Three of Cups. So I don't know if like, this card is usually about community, relationships with other people, emotional relationships with other people. So some of you could be having a challenge with this Page of Swords where there's some not so great messages between you and some other people. If you are, maybe you are dating several different people, there could be conflict energy, maybe like I was saying with the Eight of Pentacles, is trying to figure out, perhaps you're dating other people and maybe you are trying to figure out, maybe trying to make a decision between a couple of people or what have you. And it's causing some conflict. Maybe some of you may be telling someone that you are going to choose another person, and that could cause some conflict. So there's a challenge to that. So you may not want to be so forthright with telling someone that you you're breaking up with them. Not that there's breakup. I don't see breakup, but that, maybe that you or just choosing to go a different way. Maybe someone gives you some problems about that. That energy could be happening. But I feel like really there's a challenge in the sense that you can't figure out. Some of you cannot really figure out. You're still trying to figure out, maybe choosing between several different people or even dating several different options. Some of you may have too many peas on your plate, and this could be causing conflict in your love life. Okay. For others of you that are involved with someone in particular, there could be just like maybe some energy where maybe someone thinks that you are playing around with other people, and then that's causing some distress or argument or something like that. It could go that way. Maybe there's a bit of distrust in a relationship that could be happening. But with the Three of Cups in the upright, I feel this energy is more positive. Okay, so I don't really feel like that's happening. I just feel like you could just have maybe you're just trying to be more social with people, and maybe you've got someone or someone in your life is being more social, and that's causing conflict for you. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're feeling not as important to them anymore because of the Devil card. The Devil card, as I said, is this energy of being very attached to someone, right? So you may have someone in your life who's either thinking that you are detaching yourself from them and spreading yourself thin, and that's causing problems, or vice versa. Okay, but as I said, it's in the challenge position, so it's not necessarily that it's really happening. There's just something going on that could be in relation to that. Now, at the bottom of the root, you have the Nine of Pentacles. So I do feel like some of you are, there could be this energy of you could be thinking about someone who seems to have their shit together, right? This person, this Nine of Pentacles energy is usually, I did a reading for someone recently, and this person was involved with in the jewelry industry, and they were interested in someone, and this came through as being someone, if you see all these jewels, this came through as someone who, they're financially set, they're emotionally set, they've got the sun behind them, they are decorated in all this fine jewelry, which kind of makes them queen-like, but they're not necessarily queens, but they are just someone who, is at the prime of their life. Okay, it doesn't have an age, and I don't really have a sign for this. It could be an earth energy of an earth sign, but this is someone who is really financially focused on finances. This could also be you, where you are trying to get yourself in a very financially set situation for yourself, and that could have something to do, as I was saying, with this Eight of Pentacles energy, where you're trying to maybe figure out, maybe some of you are dating and you don't want to commit to anything because you want to be financially stable first before you take on some kind of a relationship with someone. Okay, but whether this is someone that you have, it could be someone that you are attached to, who fits that description, that maybe they are, as I was saying, maybe they are out dating and taking care of things, and maybe you are having a bit of conflict because of some kind of possessive energy with another person, or they with you. Now, what's crowning you is the Magician, and the Magician is, I almost feel like it's similar to this. The Eight of Pentacles is working and then analyzing, working and checking things, making sure that things are going well. The Magician, this is, you are in your mind trying to stir up some kind of magic. You are trying to, the Magician is the one card. This is the beginning of all things. This is taking all of your skills and all of your emotions and your thoughts and your practical desires and your action and spinning this, spinning some magic. I feel like you may be trying to, the Magician is very charismatic, so you may be trying to figure out a way how you can, if you're interested or there's some kind of attachment and you feel like maybe somebody's pulling away from you, you may be trying to figure out a way you can, Magician can be manipulative too, like if you think about, like a magic show, magicians are up on the stage and they are spitting all this magic, and we all know it's magic, we all know it's not real, but the Magician finds a way to make you think it is real. So you could be going around in your mind, in your head, how you can, put on airs to maybe either attract a person new in your life, or keep spinning this magic with maybe a particular person. Okay. Now, in the future, you've got the Nine of Swords. So your energy, I feel like this is your energy. You are coming out of this situation and charging ahead towards something that you want, and you are not thinking about, you're not you're trying to spin your magic, but at the same time, look at this card. He's a knight, and he's fearless, and he is mentally prepared to go into battle. Okay, so, and he's doing it. He's the first one in the line of defense. He mentally is prepared. He knows what he wants. He knows which direction he's going, he or she, and knows how to get it. They're fearless, completely fearless. Okay, and this Knight of Swords is putting things into action. Okay, and driving forward, charge ahead. And this could also be, as I always said, if you were dealing with someone who's an air sign, this could be their energy. Maybe for some, this could be an air sign that's actually maybe charging away from you for some reason. As I said, maybe there was some kind of conflict that was happening, and maybe that person is, because the way it sits here, he's charging this way, away from the conflict. So this person, it's either them or you, is, trying to get out of this. Like, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with conflict. This is just not, what I want. This is not what I need, right? So it could be going in that direction. Yet at the position of you and your advice, you've got the Lovers. So I feel like there is someone. It's interesting how you have the Devil card and then the Lovers, which are very similar, the Devil and the Lovers. But the Lovers card is, and it's also a Gemini card. So some of you, as I was saying, air sign could be dealing with Gemini. But the Lovers card, and I don't know why I keep saying signs. I really try not to do that. But again, the Lovers card talks about making a decision to be with someone. Okay. And I feel like as it resonates with this, trying to figure out which direction to go, what you want to do, the Lovers card is advising you to make a decision, right? And choose your lover. Okay. If some of you are dating others, right, maybe this month it's time for you to decide which direction you want to go and charge forward with that. And this is also about what you are, where you're at in your love life emotionally, wanting to have a connection with another person of equality. This is love. Love. I was watching a video the other day, and someone was talking about love, and love chooses you. You don't choose love. You just choose to decide to be with that person after the love has developed, right? Some people can be in love and choose not to be together, So this card really talks about making the decision. If love has found you, making the decision to be with that person. And I feel like you do want that, but for some reason you've got just this little bit of conflict that's going on at the beginning of the month that's happening. I don't think it's anything major. I just think that maybe you are very attached to another person, or they're attached to you. And with the Lovers card, something needs to be done about that, right? Now, in the position of your environment, how others are seeing you, people are looking at you as being someone who is just dropping the sword now at this point. You don't want conflict anymore. You don't want to fight. You're done with the battle. It's almost as if, you went into the battle perhaps to put an end to the battle, okay? Because I don't really feel like Scorpios, I don't feel like they can sustain long-term conflict. I feel like, Scorpio people are basically like one and done, They will just cut right through and just say it and then done, right? They don't want to continue on because they're very emotional and very deep, and they prefer to be expressing positive emotions over this negative mental arguing all the time. So I feel like people are going to be viewing you this month as just not taking anyone's crap, really. That, and you dropping the sword, this is not necessarily a loss. Okay, there is, some bloodshed here. There's, maybe you felt stabbed in the back by something or another person, but they're viewing you as, you're not stabbed and laying on the ground here, right? And I do believe that the Ten of Swords and the other decks do show that. But the thing about the Ten of Swords, in the other deck is, it shows the person being stabbed in the back and then laying flat, but it also shows a lot of light ahead. And this is the light where you put your sword down. Okay, fine. Maybe you felt betrayed, or maybe you, maybe you just don't want to argue anymore, and you're just going to walk off because to you that is getting out of negative circumstances, similar to the light that shows in the other card. Battle is over and it's time to move forward. This doesn't mean that there's a breakup. It's just because these are swords. So swords represent mental energy. So, some of you are just tired of any kind of conflict in a situation, either a relationship or in your love life or in your dating life. If there's been conflict, you just want to put an end to that. And then in your hopes and fears, of course, you have the Five of Swords, and you're fearing that there is conflict that will continue because you don't want that, okay? But you're hoping that when you put an end to it, whoever this person is gets the picture. They're like, oh, okay. So I don't often like this card. I always feel like in a relationship or a love reading, this card talks about, to me, it always seems so very abusive and scary. So I guess I want to say for some of you, if you've been in very abusive relationships or abusive situations with someone, you are going to be finding a way to put an end to that, because that's not where you are. That's not what you want. And with the new year coming, I feel like that's you putting an end to that. Some of you may be involved with someone who has an addiction, either alcoholism or drug addiction or any kind of addiction, and it could be weighing too heavily on you. There's a lot of messages coming through, so I just want to try and stick with one story. So this is in your hopes and fears, okay? As I always say with that, it's not exactly predictive, but it is how you what you're thinking and where you are. Now, at the outset of your reading, you've got the Emperor. So this is your energy, you staying in power of your life, you staying in control of your home, control of your finances, control of your health, staying on top. You are the king of your castle. And you intend to maintain that for the month of January, okay? It's also clarified by the Ten of Cups, which is great. So it's really saying that, you taking a stand and reminding yourself that you are still in control of your life, and no one has the ability to tell you how to live it or what you should or shouldn't do. That's going to bring you emotional fulfillment. Okay, it's almost as if you are going to bring it to yourself. And it could also be someone that also presents themselves in this way where they are very confident and self-empowered and very sure of who they are. And that could also be bringing you emotional fulfillment. So it could really go either way for you guys. Okay, so it's not such a bad reading. It's really just a matter of you. I don't even know that it's predictive of anything. I just feel like it's more or less you analyzing, assessing your dating life or a relationship, and making a decision this month whether or not you want to move forward with a particular person, or you want to maybe just put an end to chaos in a relationship. Okay, like I said, I don't really feel if those of you who are involved, I don't feel, or dealing with someone, I don't feel like there's a break. I just feel it's a desire to find peace within a relationship because of this Five of Swords here. This is conflict energy, and because of this Page of Swords, which is also messages of conflict. I feel like you're trying to get yourself out of that and just try to put an end to that and to keep the magic going. Either between you and another person, or just to keep spinning magic in your love life if you're out dating and meeting other people. Okay, so Scorpio, I'm going to end your reading there. I hope that you guys had a very happy, wonderful new year. And again, if you need a personal reading, if this does not resonate, or if it does and you still want one, you can email me at moonpietarot@gmail.com, and I will see you guys in February. All right, thanks. Bye.